When old friends meet again after years apart? It's never simple, especially when their past is built on blood, loyalty, and betrayal. Tommy Egan's story has always been about survival and power. But in Season 3 of Power Book 4, Force, something bigger is coming. Because this time, it's not just about controlling the streets of Chicago, it's about the ghosts from his past catching up with him. And one of those ghosts is 2-bit Tommy Egan. Has always been a man who doesn't look back. After leaving New York behind, he carved out a new empire in Chicago, where every move was a fight for dominance. He faced new enemies, made uneasy alliances, and built his name into something feared again. But deep down, no matter how far he runs, Tommy can never escape his past. The streets of New York raised him, and the people he left behind still carry pieces of his story. Now, as Season 3 begins, the city feels different. There's tension in the air, like something big is about to happen. Tommy stands at the top of his new game. But the higher he climbs, the lonelier he becomes. Liliana is gone, Ghost is gone, and even Tariq lives in another world now. Tommy has money, power, and control, but not trust. Every ally he's had either turned on him or ended up dead. Chicago has made him harder, colder, and more dangerous. But that cold shell starts to crack the moment he hears a name he hasn't heard in a long time. 2-bit. 2-bit was never just another street soldier. He was sharp, loyal, and tough, the kind of man who earned his respect through action, not words. Back in the days of Ghost and Tommy running New York, 2-bit was always there when things got real. He didn't flinch when bullets flew, and he didn't switch sides when loyalty was tested. But after Ghost's empire fell apart, 2-bit vanished into the system, locked up, written off, forgotten by most. Except Tommy never truly forgot. In his world, real ones are rare. And 2-bit was one of the few who never crossed him. Rumors start spreading through the city, whispers that 2-bit is out, and he's in Chicago. Tommy doesn't believe it at first. He's too focused on his new problems, rival cartels, the Flynn family's chaos, and the threat of the feds closing in. But something about that name sticks in his mind. He starts hearing it again, from different people. A dealer mentions seeing a man who looks like him. Another says someone's been asking about Tommy's operation. It's enough to make Tommy pause. The streets talk, and when they do, Tommy listens. Late one night, standing on a rooftop overlooking the city lights, he thinks about all the ghosts he's tried to bury. If 2-bit really is back, it could mean two things: either an old ally has returned, or an old problem is about to start again. In Tommy's world, loyalty is currency, but trust, that's a luxury he can't afford. Still, deep inside, there's a part of him that misses having someone who understood his code. 2-bit was that person, smart, loyal, but unpredictable. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, 2-bit moves quietly. He's been through hell, prison, betrayal, and survival. He's not the same man Tommy knew, and he's got his own reasons for being in Chicago. The game has changed, and so has he. He's got connections, leverage, and information Tommy doesn't. Their reunion isn't about friendship, it's about unfinished business. The first time their paths cross again isn't planned. It's raw, real, and full of tension. There are no hugs, no smiles, just two men who've seen too much, standing face to face after years apart. The silence says more than words ever could. Tommy's eyes say, "I didn't think I'd see you again." 2-bit say, "You should have known better." They both know the streets don't give second chances. But fate just did. Season 3 sets the stage for a reunion that could either rebuild the loyalty they once had, or burn it down for good. Because when Tommy Egan meets 2-bit again, it's not just two men reuniting. It's two worlds colliding, the past and the present, the streets of New York and the chaos of Chicago. And when they collide, someone's bound to bleed. The air in Chicago feels heavier now. Tommy's name still carries weight, but the streets have started to shift. Everyone's chasing power, and loyalty is thinner than smoke. But Tommy doesn't know that the real storm has already arrived, walking, breathing, and wearing the face of a man he once trusted. 2-bit has returned, and he's not the same soldier who once followed orders. He's older, sharper, and colder. Prison didn't break him, it shaped him. It burned away the boy who used to look up to Tommy, and left behind a man who plays his own game. Tommy doesn't do surprises well. He likes control. Every corner, every deal, every move, it has to run through him. So when he walks into that warehouse and sees 2-bit standing there like a ghost from another lifetime, he freezes for just a second. Not because he's scared, Tommy Egan doesn't scare, but because he realizes the past isn't done with him. 2-bit looks at him with that same quiet confidence, that same street toughness that always made him stand out. There's no handshake. No, welcome back. Just silence. The kind of silence that says, we've got history, but history doesn't mean trust. It's strange how two men who once rode through fire together can now stand on opposite sides of the same table. Tommy's first words are sharp, cutting through the tension. Like a blade. Didn't think I'd see you again. Two-Bit doesn't smile. He doesn't flinch. I didn't think you'd make it this far. The words hang in the air. Half compliment, half warning. For a moment, they study each other, two wolves sizing up who's changed more. The city outside hums like it's holding its breath. Behind that stare-down, there's something deeper. They both remember the blood they spilled together, the nights when ghosts called the shots. When the crew had rules, and when loyalty actually meant something. But those days are long gone. Now, Tommy's running Chicago, and Two-Bit's got his own ambitions. He didn't come back to play sidekick. He came for opportunity. Information. Maybe revenge. Maybe both. Tommy's instincts kick in fast. He doesn't trust easily, not anymore. Too many fake smiles. Too many knives in the back. But Two-Bit knows how to talk his way through the cracks. He brings intel about a new crew muscling into the South Side, about connections reaching back to the same people who burned Tommy in Season 2. He talks about balance, about power, about building something bigger. For a second, Tommy listens. Because somewhere deep down, the old loyalty still flickers. But it's weaker now. It's the kind of loyalty that can disappear the second money or blood gets in the way. Still, there's something about Two-Bit's timing that feels too perfect, too planned. Tommy's mind races as he listens, wondering who really sent him. The Flynns, the feds. Or is he just back for his own hustle? But Tommy knows better than to show doubt. He nods, smirks that cold smirk, and says, if you're in my city, you play by my rules. Two-Bit chuckles, low, dark and knowing. Your city, huh? We'll see. That's when it hits Tommy. This reunion isn't about friendship. It's a test, a reminder that the streets don't forget, and every favor comes with a price. He sees it in Two-Bit's eyes, the hunger, the resentment, the need to prove he's not just the guy who got left behind. And in that moment, Tommy understands something he's been ignoring since he came to Chicago. No matter how far he runs, his past will always find him, and it always wants something. As the night drags on, the tension shifts from silent to sharp. They trade words like bullets.com but deadly. Two-Bit hints at knowing things Tommy doesn't, about people watching his moves, about traps being set. But every word he speaks sounds like it's half truth, half bait. Tommy knows the game too well. Still, curiosity keeps him listening. Old loyalty may be dangerous, but it's also hard to kill. When Two-Bit finally leaves, the warehouse feels colder. Tommy lights a cigarette and watches the smoke curl toward the ceiling. His gut tells him, trouble just walked back into his life. But another part of him, the one that remembers brotherhood and blood, almost feels relief, because for the first time in a long time, he's not alone in this war, even if that ally might one day turn the gun on him. As Tommy drives through the city, his reflection flashes in the mirror, cold eyes, clenched jaw, the face of a man who's lost too much but refuses to stop fighting. Behind him, Two-Bit walks into the darkness, blending with the streets like he never left. Two men, two paths, one city caught between their fire. And as the night closes in, one thing becomes clear. Their reunion isn't the end of a story. It's the beginning of another war. The city doesn't sleep. It just changes faces. Chicago at night looks calm from a distance, but up close, it's a war zone painted in neon lights. Every block, every deal, every word is a move on the chessboard, and Tommy Egan is always 10 steps ahead. But since Two-Bit's return, the game feels different. The air carries a new kind of energy, familiar yet dangerous. Tommy can feel it. It's like standing next to a lit fuse, waiting for the explosion. For the first time in a long while, Tommy doesn't walk alone. Two-Bit rides beside him, their partnership silent but sharp. They don't talk much, but they don't have to. Both know what the other's thinking. The streets have a rhythm, and right now, they're in sync. They move through Chicago like two ghosts resurrected from the past, cleaning up corners, making moves, and reminding everyone that Tommy Egan isn't to be tested. But even as their names echo through the alleys, there's something deeper hiding behind Two-Bit's calm. He's watching, studying, calculating. Prison taught him patience. Tommy sees flashes of the old Two-Bit, the one who'd take a bullet without asking why, but now there's a coldness behind his eyes, a secret, something unspoken. Tommy doesn't ask, not yet. He's too focused on expanding his empire, on keeping his enemies guessing. Together, they start making noise. The word spreads fast. Tommy and Two-Bit are back together, just like old times. But the streets never forget, and neither do the people who lost everything because of them. Their first big move comes when Tommy decides to reclaim a shipment route that was stolen by the Flynns. It's a bold move, maybe too bold, but Tommy's never been one to play safe. Two-Bit, always the tactician, suggests a smarter approach. We take it quiet, no blood if we can help it. Tommy smirks, that familiar glint in his eye. Since when did you start caring about blood? Two-Bit doesn't laugh. Since I learned it stains everything, even loyalty. That line sticks with Tommy. It's not just words, it's truth, and he knows it. The plan goes off smooth at first, quick, silent, clean, until it's not. Shots ring out. Someone tipped them off. The warehouse turns into chaos. Tommy's crew scrambles for cover while Two-Bit moves like he's been expecting this. He's too calm, too ready. It hits Tommy like a gut punch. Someone inside fed information. But who? The moment Two-Bit returns fire, saving one of Tommy's men, the doubt fades just for a second. Maybe old loyalties really don't die. After the smoke clears, the tension lingers like gunpowder. Tommy stares at Two-Bit, trying to read him. Two-Bit doesn't say a word, just loads another clip and lights a cigarette. Told you it wouldn't be easy, he mutters. Tommy steps closer, voice low but heavy. Easy's not the problem. The problem's who knew we were coming. Their eyes lock again, the same way they did back in New York when everything started falling apart. There's no answer, just silence. Silence and suspicion. Later that night, Tommy sits alone in his car, engine idling, music low. The city's lights flash across his face like ghosts. He's thinking about the past again, about Ghost, about all the people who swore they'd never betray him. Every one of them had their reason, their excuse, their angle. He wonders what Two-Bit's is, because everyone in this game has one. And in his gut, Tommy knows something's off. Maybe it's the timing. Maybe it's how Two-Bit always seems to know more than he should. Or maybe it's the way he's been talking to people Tommy doesn't trust. But loyalty, that's the thing about it. You don't know if it's real until it's tested. And when it breaks, it's never clean. It cuts deep, days pass, and their partnership grows stronger on the surface, but weaker underneath. They start running bigger plays, hitting new territories, outsmarting the cops, making money faster than ever. Chicago starts to whisper again. Tommy and Two-Bit are unstoppable, but Tommy knows better. The more people talk, the more danger comes. And lately, danger seems to find him faster than ever. Then it happens, the first real crack. A deal goes wrong. The buyers pull guns. Someone's missing from the meet. Tommy's crew barely escapes. Later, he finds out one of his own was caught talking to a rival gang. And that man's been seen with Two-Bit. That's when Tommy's doubts turn to fire. He storms through his apartment, pacing, breathing hard, fists tight. Don't tell me it's him, he mutters. Not him. Because deep down, Tommy doesn't want to believe it. He's lost too many brothers already. But belief doesn't mean much in the streets. What matters is proof, and proof always comes with blood. That night, Tommy goes looking. He finds Two-Bit at a bar.com as ever, drinking like the world's not burning. Their eyes meet across the room, and for the first time, the silence between them isn't brotherhood. It's a warning. The streets of Chicago are about to learn that when two wolves share the same territory, one of them won't survive. The night is colder than usual. The rain hits the pavement in steady drops, whispering secrets only the streets understand. Chicago looks alive, but under its lights, betrayal crawls like smoke through every corner. Tommy stands alone again, the same way he started, the same way he's always been. But this time, it's different. The faces that used to stand beside him are gone. And the one person he thought might still understand him minus Two-Bit, might be the one tearing it all apart. Tommy's mind is a storm. Every move Two-Bit made in the last few weeks starts to replay like a reel he can't turn off. The meetings he missed. The names he dropped. The phone calls that ended too quick. Tommy's no fool, he's built his empire on instinct. And right now, his gut is screaming. Something's not right. Someone's been feeding information, and all signs point to the man he once called brother. But Tommy doesn't act on emotion, he acts on proof. So he sets the stage the same way he always does. A test. A deal no one else knows about. If the wrong people show up, he'll have his answer. The meet is set for midnight, under a broken bridge on the south side, the kind of place where loyalty gets buried. The rain hasn't stopped. It makes everything glisten: the concrete, the cars, the guns. Tommy stands by his car, cigarette in hand, eyes cold, waiting. Then, like a ghost, Two-Bit steps out from the shadows. He's calm, collected, unreadable. "You called me out here for a reason," he says, his tone steady. Tommy takes a slow drag and exhales, smoke mixing with the mist. "Yeah," he replies. "I just needed to know if the streets were still talking to you, or if you've been talking back." For a second, there's silence, the kind that makes the world stop. Then Two-Bit smirks, not amused, not angry, just tired. "You really think I'd cross you?" Tommy steps closer, eyes locked on his. "I don't think, Two-Bit. I know." That's when headlights flash from behind. 3 cars. Doors swing open. Men step out, armed, ready, dangerous. The exact people Tommy wanted to catch. He doesn't even look back at them. He keeps his eyes on Two-Bit. "You brought company," he says. Two-Bit shakes his head, slow and disappointed. "You still don't get it, huh? I didn't bring them, they followed you." It hits Tommy in waves: realization, rage, regret. The betrayal wasn't Two-Bit's, it was deeper, coming from someone inside Tommy's new crew. Someone who wanted both of them gone. For a moment, time stands still. Then chaos erupts. Bullets cut through the air, the sound echoing through the bridge. Tommy and Two-Bit dive behind cover, firing back in sync like the old days. Years may have changed them, but when survival's on the line, instinct takes over. They fight side by side, back to back, like ghosts of the past reborn in gunfire. When the smoke clears, the ground is littered with bodies. The silence that follows is thick, heavy, real. Both men breathe hard, weapons still raised, eyes darting. Two-Bit turns, staring at Tommy. "You still don't trust me?" he asks. Tommy lowers his gun just a little, jaw tight. "Trust gets people killed." Two-Bit steps forward. "So does pride." Those words land like a punch. Tommy knows he's right. He's built walls so high that even the people who wanted to stand beside him couldn't climb them. Maybe Two wasn't his enemy after all. Maybe he was the only one still willing to bleed for him. But in Tommy's world, it's never that simple. Before either of them can speak again, sirens echo in the distance. They know what that means. No time for goodbyes. Two-Bit looks at Tommy one last time. "You got a lot of enemies, just make sure you ain't one of them." He walks away into the rain, disappearing like he was never there. Tommy watches him go, face blank but eyes burning. Back in his car, the city lights blur through the windshield. Blood on his knuckles, smoke in his lungs, silence in his soul. He whispers to himself, almost too quiet to hear, "Maybe loyalty ain't dead, it just hurts like hell." As he drives off, the camera lingers on the empty bridge, rain's still falling, steam rising from the street. 2 sets of footprints fading into darkness. And just like that, the chapter closes, not with a handshake or a promise, but with a question. In a world built on betrayal, what's more dangerous, trusting the wrong man, or realizing the right one left too soon? Tommy's war isn't over. It never will be. Because men like him don't get peace, they just keep surviving. And somewhere out there, Two-Bit's watching, waiting, knowing that someday, their paths will cross again. Only next time, it won't be for survival. It'll be for power.